The latest developments in the Michael Jackson story. In a state hearing today, Catherine Jackson will have custody of the kids. Not a real surprise there, but we're joined by Oakland defense attorney Ivan Gold, who knew Jackson. Your sources are now giving you some idea why we haven't seen this autopsy yet. That's what we're waiting for.
Exactly. It was supposed to come out last week. It did not. Right now, as things stand, Dr. Murray is trying to cut a deal with prosecutors. The deal is this: he will tell the truth. He will open up and tell the Jackson family, the district attorney's office, and the police everything that he can. This will spare the Jackson family of all the lurid details and secrets that could come out if there's a manslaughter trial. In exchange, Dr. Murray will be put on probation. His medical license will be suspended. He'll pay a fine, some minor criminal charges. This is not etched in stone. This is being worked out. This is very, very delicate at this point. And remember, they also want Dr. Murray to talk about other doctors as well and what he knows about Michael Jackson in terms of what other doctors may have prescribed to him.
So, Ivan, you're getting this from a source. Are they indicating that this is partly the Jackson family fighting to suppress? I presume so.
The Jackson family has two main concerns. One, they want to know the truth. They want to know the real truth, and they
don't want everybody else to necessarily know.
Exactly. And if Dr. Murray is put on trial, all the lurid details would be out. This would be a high-profile case. They know it. They want to protect their son, the legacy of their son, and they want the truth, and they'll have to strong-arm Dr. Murray to do it. And quite frankly, the DA's office, they want the truth. The police department, they want the truth. The DEA, they want the truth. Give him immunity, cut a deal, get the truth. He's not a danger to society, Dr. Murray. Should we put him in prison? Should we try him for manslaughter? What's the real vision? What's the real goal here?
The question is, though, who's running the show? The family, the DA, investigators? It sounds like the family's got a lot of power here.
This is not uncommon. This is Michael Jackson. Of course they want to protect his image. Dr. Murray did not stab Michael Jackson to death or shoot him with a gun. We know this is propofol. This was an overdose, accidentally, negligently, recklessly. Still, they want the truth. They want to know what happened. They want this doctor to never practice medicine again. Should he go to prison? Do they want that? No, and the family has a lot to do with it.
And you're saying the suggestion is that they may also want from Dr. Murray information on other doctors.
On other doctors, medical reports, other treatment. He knows a lot. Dr. Murray has known Michael Jackson a long time. He also is the doctor James Brown, the singer James Brown, and other celebrities. This guy knows a lot of doctors. He can give a lot of information. He's worth more that way than in prison.
Okay, so Ivan, we're looking at video of the doctor's house being raided last week. His offices were raided as well. I want to get back to this the estate hearing today.
Yes.
A lot of strange players. You had people from Columbia Pictures, people from AEG, his former dermatologist. What was his former dermatologist doing there?
Again, the judge ruled that he had no standing. He wanted to give his input on the children. He expressed concern about their education, their upbringing. Would Catherine Jackson be up for it? She's 79 years old. The judge said, you are not a quote-unquote presumed parent. Therefore, you can't come into my courtroom and tell and give your input on this case. You simply don't have standing at this time. Come back later if you want. Right now, Michael Jackson wanted his mother to care for his kids. He said that in the will. The judge honored that. Catherine was the only person who petitioned the court for custody, and that petition was granted.
But, you know, there is a good point to be made there, Ivan. This woman is 79 years old. Would the court automatically have what amounts to a plan B?
Well, what the court will do is monitor this case closely. They'll have a progress report in 2 months, another one in 6 months. They will keep an eye on her. If something goes wrong, then her daughter, the Jackson oldest daughter, said she would step in. And believe me, in this plan, it's not just Catherine Jackson herself. Yeah. There will be, all the other kids will pitch and they'll help. The court knows what's going on here. The social workers have interviewed the entire family. Those kids will be well taken care of. Even Debbie Rowe will have visitation rights.
Yeah, and I mean, she hasn't been in their lives at all up to this point.
And she's getting a spousal settlement. She got that, but she does have visitation. But, you know, unfairly so, she was thought of as an extortionist, that she wanted a lot of money and she wouldn't contest it. I don't think that's the case at all. She just wanted to make sure what was right was right. Remember, she was married to Jackson legally, and she's the mother of those children.
Now you're going to come back, so we'll ask you more. For example, Catherine is still fighting to administer the estate, but you'll be back.
That's a whole other can of worms.
It sure is. Thank you, Ivan Gold. We appreciate that.
Live from the Bay Area's news station, this is KRON 4 News at 4:30.
Developments today in the Michael Jackson case. A Superior Court judge in L.A. gave custody of Michael's 3 children to his mother, Catherine. That's file tape of Michael Jackson, of course. The 79-year-old Catherine Jackson now has official permanent custody of his children, including his little girl you see there. Jackson named her in a 2002 will as the person that he wanted to raise his children. That ruling came despite some surprise objections of his longtime dermatologist. Those were pretty much dismissed quickly. Oakland attorney Ivan Gold is back with us, and you got to know Michael at his molestation trial.
Yes, I did.
Bottom line, Ivan, you're saying maybe the autopsy results are in and they're sitting on them. Again, why?
This is what's really going on, okay? Right now, the Jackson family has 2 concerns. They want to know the truth. Dr. Murray can give them the truth. And they want to spare a trial of Dr. Murray where all the lurid details of Michael Jackson's life would come out in the public. They want to protect his legacy. Right now, the district attorney, the DEA, the police, the Jackson family, they want Dr. Murray's license suspended. They want him put on probation. And in exchange for the truth and in exchange to end this whole fiasco, that's what they want. They're not really concerned about him going to prison, and they're trying to work out these deals. They also want Dr. Murray to talk about other physicians who've treated Michael Jackson. It's not etched in stone, but that's what's going on right now, and that's why they can't release this stuff to the public, the toxicology results.
We're looking at a picture right now, Ivan, of Dr. Conrad Murray, who was with Michael Jackson, tried to resuscitate him the day he died. The suspicion here is that he gave him propofol, and the question here, you've said from the beginning, you don't think he's going to jail. Do you think this is the route the DA should go?
Absolutely, and the Jackson family wants it to go this route. They want to know the truth. Dr. Murray has given inconsistent statements. They want to know the truth. They want to make sure he never practices medicine again, and most importantly, they want to protect the legacy of Michael Jackson.
Yeah.
Not only because he's their son, but because the enterprise of Michael Jackson, they need to protect his image.
It was interesting that that courtroom today was just crammed with something like 20 attorneys, they said, Ivan, representing music promoters and concert people, Columbia Pictures. I mean, essentially, are these all people hoping to cash in some way?
The Jackson enterprise, the Jackson estate is worth $500 million and growing. They all have a financial interest, a fiduciary interest. Again, that's why they don't want his image tarnished. They want to closely monitor what is going on. This relates to how they market Michael Jackson, the strategy. The Michael Jackson record sales, the Michael Jackson image has a whole new life, and they want it to be a positive life, a positive image, not a negative image.
So Catherine Jackson wants to be the executor of the state. Right now there are 2 attorneys?
Yes, in Michael Jackson's will, no, 1 attorney and 1 music executive.
Okay.
Michael Jackson named both of those in his will as co-executors. Catherine Jackson wants to have some say in her son's $500 million estate. She needs to prove some fiduciary duty issues, and right now there's already some talk that the 2 co-executors up to this point have spent a lot of Jackson's money, have cashed in on a life insurance policy, real property that Michael Jackson owns. They're getting their claws on that. So she rightfully is concerned about her son's estate. What will the court do? I think they'll make all 3 of them co-executors. I think Catherine Jackson has a legitimate argument to be a part of this estate. But remember, in Michael's will of 2002, he named her as the guardian, not the executor.
Since we keep introducing you, Ivan, by telling people that you got to know Michael Jackson, tell us a little more about how you did.
In 2005, I was one of the legal commentators for the molestation charge, the molestation case in Santa Maria, California. I was practically the only legal commentator to say he was innocent. And that's because I sat in the courtroom day after day and watched those witnesses, and they were not credible. Michael Jackson appreciated that commentary. He thanked me. We became friends. We started talking. We talked about baseball. We talked about politics. We talked about everything. And this man was on trial for his life. But yet he was a cool customer, but yet you could see he was lonely. I could sense that he was frail, skinny, and worried and concerned and not feeling good about the world.
Were you surprised by his death?
No, I wasn't. I wasn't surprised about his death because at that trial, I could see he wasn't himself. Quite frankly, he looked like he was perhaps sedated or quiet or depressed. And I had heard rumors and knew people who said that he was abusing narcotics. I was very, very upset. Surprised, no. because that stuff catches up to you, and that is what the Jackson family does not want fully disclosed, similar to Elvis Presley.
Yeah, you're not the only person who knew him, and some people who knew him very well are coming out and saying this was not a well man.
No, he wasn't.
Thank you, Ivan.
We'll see you again at 5:30. For all the